Now for the question everybody wants answered. What's being done to track down the would-be terrorist thugs who may be prowling around this country? That is CNN national security correspondent David Enzer's department, and he joins me here in Washington. David, we're hearing reports that there are other would-be targets or would-be terrorists in this country. What can you tell us?
Well, that's right, Greta. U.S. officials are telling me that they have evidence that there may still be some individuals in this country who would like to commit terrorist acts, who are looking for targets. They don't rule out that there may be pilots still in this country, and there are other threats they're also concerned about. They won't go into any more detail than that, but they're forthright about saying that they are very concerned that there still could be terrorists waiting to try and commit terrorism inside this country. And as all this is going on, of course, the president and his aides are trying to figure out how to build a coalition for what they are calling a war. Down the line, the president has acknowledged indirectly in some of what he said today, there is going to have to be military action.
The nation is angry about thousands of innocent deaths. U.S. officials say the evidence so far points to Osama bin Laden's group, and the Bush administration is talking tough.
We will go after that group, that network, and those who have harbored, supported, and aided that network to rip the network up. And when we're through with that network, we will continue with a global assault against terrorism in general.
But if it is bin Laden, how to get at him and his top lieutenants? Some argue for giving Afghanistan's Taliban government an ultimatum. Turn him over or else.
We know where your ministries are. We know where your houses are. We're simply going to obliterate them from the face of the planet.
Bouncing that rubble with a lot of B-52 loads of bombs, I don't think is going to change Afghanistan all that much.
No, say most analysts in and out of government. If you want to roll up bin Laden and al-Qaeda, it is going to take more than bombs. It will take ground troops.
In order for us to preserve America and our way of life, we're going to have to sacrifice American treasure and, unfortunately, in some cases, perhaps some American blood.
It is not just a question of grabbing or killing one man or even 20. There are a dozen or more training camps, U.S. intelligence says, producing more terrorists dedicated to killing Americans.
Revenge alone is not an answer. There has to be a complete eradication and elimination of all the training camps.
And much of bin Laden's base of support is in neighboring Pakistan, through which money from around the Arab world is funneled to the al-Qaeda coffers. It is a treacherous and dangerous area indeed.
If you start moving in ground troops and you're willing to occupy countries for long periods of time, you do change things rather significantly for terrorists. I'm not sure this country is ready to do that, even if it does have a fit of passion right now, and it may or may not make sense for the U.S. to do that in its larger interests.
Bottom line, Greta, U.S. forces possibly could go into Afghanistan and get bin Laden, but that might not end the terrorism.
David, the big issue, of course, in terms of the terrorism is who's paying for it. Bin Laden has an awful lot of money. Is there been an effort to sort of freeze and track his money to sort of at least cut his throat at that point?
Yes, there is indeed. In fact, a number of calls were made today and yesterday by senior officials in the administration, particularly at the State Department, to other leaders around the region, moderate Arab leaders, Pakistani leader and others, saying, look, we know that you've been turning a blind eye up till now to certain payments by wealthy Muslims going to charities and other fronts for the bin Laden organization. That must now stop. You have to decide which side you are on. And U.S. officials are saying we have ways and means of tracking this, and we will be doing it from now on. We want to see who's on our side. You must pick sides at this point on this matter of money. Greta?
David Enzer, thank you, from Washington. Around the United States, patriotism